Alright, welcome back. This is MDawg, and we are in part 4 of our new leveling guide. Oh, let me get the door. 1 second. And the first thing I wanted to show you is, I wasn't sure if we were going to be able to, but it looks like it is letting us repair the spark that we've destroyed. It only costs like 2 point something silver, and we're going to be able to replace the mech and that reel, so it'll be ready. Ready for use probably before this episode's over, so then I guess we'll have a backup spark. Arguably it wasn't worth repairing, because as long as we don't break another spark, we probably would never need it again, because we've got 3. And if I'd known you could repair it, I probably would have repaired it between episodes. Let's go ahead and get our rods in at our favorite new bleak spot. Rough spot. See if we can get lucky on 2 more rough so that we are rolling around on the silver. See, we're down to 1.17 silver, but we still have the rough from the last episode. And yeah, we have a chance to finish that order before it expires. And then we're going to go focus on that crucian gibble spot now that we have 3 feeder rods set up. This spot's always a little farther away than I think it's going to be. Right here is where we've been fishing. It's a little early, but let's just get them out there. I want to show you a couple of changes that I made between episodes. Oh man, I still don't have a bite alarm for that 3rd rod, do I? Or did we get one? I can't remember now. We'll go to the store real quick and get it. Oh, that's got the light cage on it. We actually want to cast that one 100%. Can't cast it as far. Okay, so real quick, we did get 1 leader. So these 3 rigs are set up slightly different. The first one has a 30 kilo feeder on it, roach ground bait, fluorocarbon leader, which should be a little more invisible for the fish, size 20 hook, and worm. Okay. Second one has our sinker, so no ground bait, the tiny hook, 24 size with worm. And finally, our 3rd rig has a 15 gram leader, roach ground bait, and a 22 size hook. So this is the other difference. We got the leader and we got the 22 hook. Those are the changes I made before starting the episode. So this is the first fish caught on a fluorocarbon leader in this series. Cute little gibble. Ooh. So we hope this is a crucian gibble and not a bream, because it won't quite be a marker if it's a bream, I don't think. Very nice. I need to recast that one. All right, let's run to town. Let's get our bite indicator. Oh, do I have enough though? Let's catch a couple more fish to make sure we have enough. Oh. And that's with an upgraded hook. It's really the biggest problem, and why I think fish like that pop off. I mean, I guess we could have been a little less aggressive with it, but the biggest problem to me is we're just dealing with such light rigs that sometimes the big fish just finally, they're putting up such a fight, they just pop off. And even though these happy hooks are much higher quality than the real crap ones, they're still not 5-star. I mean, they're still going to lose more fish than you'd like. But that would have been our first 1 kilo bream, I believe. And would have guaranteed that we could afford the bite alarm. I think we can already afford it, but I'm going to wait for one more fish. One more, like, reasonable marker. I'm just going to go for this one. It's probably just a really nice crucian, but we're just going to reel it straight in. Try not to let it fight back at all. Yeah, it's crucian. Nice one. Almost a kilo. Okay. I think we can afford it. We just want to put a bite alarm on that third rod, take the pressure off, the stress off with it. Now, when you are repairing a reel, you can still see it in your inventory, and it'll tell you how long it has left. So that's a newer feature. It hasn't always been in the game. Used to, you'd have to go back to the actual shop that you had it in to see it. $32 hours left on that. Nothing has changed yet. This order is going to be coming off soon, so it'll be interesting to see what that's replaced with. But right now we just want to sell these 3 fish and get a bite alarm. I think I can hear our bells ringing from all the way over here. Which, we're not as far away from our bells as it feels like we are, because we walk all the way this direction first before winding back around to where it is. Now we should see rough starting to show up as we're transitioning into nighttime. We may still catch these little bream, but rough should start to appear as well. I think whatever's on this middle line is a little thick. And I guess the best we can do here is just try to only pull the fish in when it's not pulling away from us. If it pulls away from us, we just let it go and hope it doesn't pull off while it's running. And once you have nice hooks and nice gear and the appropriate strength, typically fish get away when you are trying to pull against them in times when you should be letting them run. If they're fighting real hard, you do not want to pull at that point. I think this is our first fish over a kilo though, right? A nice crucian. Biggest fish caught, strongest fish caught. And I think we're almost out of the roach ground bait. I can't tell for sure. Let's just see if there's fish on. So we're finally into the rough time, I believe. Now what we're hoping for is to fairly quickly get lucky on a couple of 70-gram rough. Go turn the cafe order in, and then go fish for crucian gibbles for a while. That's the hope. Feels like the little bream are a little more active this night for some reason. Maybe the, oh, that's a white bream actually. That's nice. The fluorocarbon leader, I don't know if that's making a difference. I mean, it's not just this rod though. So, I don't know. We want to get those big fat roughs though. Surely this starting this early in the evening to fish for rough, we'll get lucky on at least 2 over 70. I just would like to have at least some of the night left to see how that spot on the crucian gibbles does during the evening, or especially like early morning. Oh my goodness. Not a rough. Another really fat crucian. And maybe this is where you do see a benefit in having all 24 hooks, because you can still catch, that was maximum number of fish caught for one day. Okay. You can still catch really nice size rough on the tiniest of hooks, but you probably cycle out some of these non-rough. This is hopefully a rough. You only catch rough or white bream for the most part on 24s, I think. Oof, close but no cigar. A little too small. So rough, weight, 1, 2, 3, 4. We need 6 of those. We caught 4 the first night. How quickly can we get 2? 2 more. Can we at all get 2 more? So once you have 3 feeder rods like this, if you're taking the mostly bottom fishing approach, to me, the next thing you want to purchase, and we'll, at some point, I'll try to remember during this episode to look at the cost, but we want to get the shovel, the tea kettle, and some tea packs to cook some tea so we can start digging and continue to do ground bait. But once we have the tea kettle, shovel, and some tea, then we start saving aggressively for the beginner pro sets. Which, if you're patient, you could have skipped right to the beginner pro sets. Maybe get 1 feeder rod, use your float or a couple floats, and just grind it out till you have 150 silver. But for me and my play style, I like having these basic feeders as quickly as possible. Start doing this like at Mosquito, getting all of the silver from the rough orders, white bream orders. Oh my word. I guess it's a bream spot. I need to touch down these my friction brake. Careful with the friction brake. I just hate to see more of these pop off, but maybe we'll land one of them. You never know. Could be a really, really nice crucian gibble, but I think it's more likely a, 1.5 kilo bream or something that we don't really have any business catching on these setups, but you can, as long as they don't pop off. Just what happens, isn't it? Don't know that there's a lot you can do other than just be really patient. You could tell I was reeling pretty aggressively, but I just don't want to wait forever. It's not worth that much. A 1 kilo bream is nice, but it's not life-changing at this point. We want to get these rough. Get these rough in the net. "20 meters is a long way to pull in a decent sized bream a nice bream like that on these setups with questionable hooks and all that." I don't think this can be a rough. It could be, but it's a really fat rough if it's a rough. This is much more likely a small bream. Oh, such good news that that's a white bream. We'll have to check to see if it's worth it, but I think we're one white bream away from... Although there wasn't much time on that order, so I don't know. If we get a 5th white bream, we'll go look at the cafe, but... I think you needed 5... Was it at least 30 grams? Is that what it was? It could have also been... Yeah, I think that's what it was. We have completely lucked out. Out of luck. On the 70 gram rough so far. You know, we could go get some red worms, but there's no guarantee with those either. And that is a lot of silver to fish for rough with red worms. I think if you're going to use red worms, you probably want to be at winding, and even then, who knows? But sometimes the big old rough come out on these red worms, don't they? I don't know. We don't even have enough. I mean, we might have enough if we sold all of our fish. Red worms are expensive. We'll check it out. We'll try it out another time once we're digging for red worms and we're a little bit more comfortable with our silver. We also, when we start getting nicer feeder rods, we can put the lighter quiver tips on. These are kind of heavy quiver tips to fish for something as small as rough. I mean, we're making it work, but that's why picker rods are so good for this kind of situation. Once you get to be in a position that you can afford some of the more luxurious items like picker rods. I guess if you wanted to specialize in picker rods, you could get them early on, but I tend to think of them as a higher level item. But they're just really good at picking up soft bites from little small cautious fish. There we go. Oh, this has a chance. It might just be 70 grams. Right? Yeah, it's gotta be. Yeah. Alright. One more, right? One more and hope that the order's not done yet? By the way, no discernible difference for rough using the fluorocarbon leader, at least in this small sample size. Now, it'd be better test if we had the same hooks. These are kind of larger hooks than you want for rough, so that might be what's slowing out down the first rig, but what's doing the best? Maybe the 22 hook, actually. Now this rig is also, compared to the 24, this one does have ground bait. Oh, I cannot believe it. We did it. Okay. All right. Now we kind of need to hustle. Oh, it's another white bream. Oh my goodness. I think the rod without ground bait might have been the slowest, which is interesting. Which is interesting. All right. I hope that order hasn't slipped off. I think we still had plenty of time though. $51 silver. Wait, is the white bream order 27 silver? That's amazing. Oh, a new trophy eyed order. These are possible right now, by the way, at Mosquito, if you've got the equipment for it and the ground bait and everything. Some people have been catching trophy eyes. I'm sure it's slow, but it is possible. Look at this. We have 81 silver. Is there anything we absolutely need to buy? I don't think so. I don't think we want to spend. Right now, we just want to save. Oh, let's look at the prices real quick to see what we're saving for. Wait, is that store over there that we buy it from? I think it is. So let's don't waste time. Let's go get set up for morning time fishing. It's already a long run out there. I really wanted to have, and maybe we'll have a chance to fish this spot again in the next episode, but you just want to see what those overnight and very early morning moments are like in a crucian gibble spot, because sometimes that's when the big boys come up. Oh, the other thing we want to spend some silver on before progressing to the next feeders is leveling our harvesting baits a little bit. Now, mostly we'll be doing that with the shovel, right? But it's also might be worth, let's craft a few potatoes, a little bit more bread first, and craft a few potatoes, and the moment we can craft pearl barley, we'll craft a bunch of that too. All right, so we're going all the way down here at the bottom again. We want to go size 6 hooks, and let's try not to break anything this time. See if I can recognize the spot. We just passed it. Right here. It's kind of a weird spot. I think we were actually casting from here, weren't we? Which is even weirder. Okay. We want to switch to crucian gibble. We want to go to 6, and we'll use the nice 6 on this one, and we want to go to bread. So we're going to go a clip of, I think we're going to do 7. Oops. 7, 6, and 5. So 6 clip on this one. And 5 on this one. Let's see. There we go. This is what we want to see. Big, nice crucian after big, nice crucian. At a reasonable bite rate. Level up this bottom fishing. Make a little bit more silver. What are we getting next? Paternoster. Doesn't really matter. Then we get carp rod, picker rod, doesn't matter. Slingshot probably won't matter anytime soon. Inline rig I like a lot. We will use Paternoster once we unlock that at 25%, but inline and loop for a lot of the fishing we'll be doing, especially when we get to bream fishing and stuff like that. I love those rigs. Alright, we need to watch this. So far the one that's at 5 meter clip hasn't caught a fish, so did we snag another one somehow? I think we're going to have to check that third rod. We've now caught 2 fish on the first 2 rods. Actually, it might have a fish on there now. Yeah, good. Alright, I'm going to move it up to a 7. So now we'll have them at 7, 6, 7. And I'm going to cast this one this way to make sure we don't hit it on that one spot. It's also hard to see. I probably should reposition here. We can still cast this way, but let's move the rods this way a little bit. Also back up slightly. Backing up might just be the best strategy. Uh-oh. Okay. It's a little snaggy down here. I guess the bottom, the feeder cages are just easily getting caught. But it doesn't, once a fish hooks on, it seems to clear it up. So you may just be want to careful if you're manually reeling them in without a fish on. Oh, we had a fish on and then we didn't have a fish on. We went a little quick on that one, I guess. Yeah, but the sizes are nice down here. There's a gibble. The fact is, I mean, really, it's just the bite rate is still so decent, even though we're using size 6 hooks. And it's a tiny clip, so we don't have to reel them in very far. If the clip was long, like 20 meter clip again, some of these fish might have a chance to pop off. I don't really want you going that way. I want you just coming in. I'm being so aggressive right now, but he's so close to me that I think we just go for it. That right there is a low-level trophy if I've ever seen one. Holy cow. A level 8 trophy? Don't see that every day. Maximum total weight of fish caught. Trophy crucian on wet bread. Did we notice on one of the lists that one of the biggest cruciate mosquito was actually caught on worm? Or am I remembering that wrong? I feel like in the first episode when we were looking at weeklies, we might have seen something like that, but I'm not sure. Can't believe we just had a trophy. That's awesome. That is a big gibble. Not quite trophy, but it was a big one. I'm pretty impressed with this spot down here. Without any points invested in the rig we're using, without, you know, high level bait or higher level baits that you can harvest, just with regular bread. We're kind of killing it right now. Just be curious about this spot if you're really like a 24-hour test of the spot, but I think it'd be pretty good. I mean, you're going to get the largest fish in the morning. I mean, overnight and in the morning. Oh my goodness. But I knew that felt different. Okay, chub on bread. That's a little weird. I think during the afternoon it could still be decent, but you'll probably see on average a little smaller fish come out. A chub on bread? What's going on? Now we do have pretty high quality ground bait, Crucian Gibble ground bait, that helps. But I'm still surprised at just how good this has been, considering everything else. I don't know, this might be 100 silver an hour. Might be more. For low-level players, I mean, this is fantastic. I mean, if in an hour and a half you can purchase a, you know, beginner feeder set, that's not near as grindy as it can be sometimes early on. So this was the cutoff. So we've been fishing here 12 minutes. All right, it's 11:10 in the morning. Oh, there's a roach. It's kind of getting to be that time where you expect it to slow down a little, start slowing down a little, and the average size start decreasing. Let's see if that happens and how much it happens. It's not bad. With these 6 hooks, it may be that it doesn't really slow, that the size doesn't get too small on average. It may just be that it slows way down during suboptimal times, but we'll see. I'm not going to sit here for 24 hours this episode. We may, in a future episode, I don't know. Just kind of see what I'm feeling like, but and the fish quality is so good right now. I feel like we're getting points in bottom fishing every fish. We're still low enough level where that happens. You know, like here's an example where we didn't get points, but most of the fish are so much bigger than this. So often in this spot we're getting points. And if it does slow down, if it does get a little smaller during the day, it's a good time to just like throw a float rod out. Keep 2 feeders in, throw a float rod out, keep working on your feeding. There's level 9. So yeah, it's like almost noon, and now we're seeing a little lower average size. I mean, that size crucians weren't coming in the early morning hours at all. So I think we want to keep our, I think we put a second point in spinning reel, and then again, we'll do 1 or 2 points in feeder next. The only other consideration is it's nice to have points in harvesting worms, because it gives you more and it gives you a better chance of getting red worms. So we might drop a point or 2 in there at some point. I don't know. I think that is a consideration. Long term, you may or may not want points there. depending on how much like sturgeon fishing and stuff you do. But in the short term, I think it helps. You're going to probably level up bait harvesting faster with some points allocated there. So this is the time, like let's say you're going to just grind it out in this spot. This is the time you want to run back to town. If you need to build in a go back to town, you know, couple of in-game hours, 3 in-game hours or whatever during the day, sort of like 1 p.m. to 4 p.m. or something around there. Because I think you want to be in this spot in the late afternoon, evening, overnight, and early morning. And if you don't need to go to town and you can just do it all 24 hours, it's worth that too, because you're going to still get some nice fish like this one. Okay, that's not what I thought it was. Still a nice fish. We'll take a tench. Another type of fish on feeder. But this is probably, you know, we're at suboptimal time right now. Yeah, let's go ahead and let's see. How many minutes have we gotten? 18. I wanted to see what it would be in a half hour just so we could get a sort of an idea, but maximum number of fish caught for one day. But it's, I think we'll, again, I'm not promising, but it's possible in the next episode we will do this same exact thing and try to get just a longer read on it. The only reason why I said, I mean, I also would like to fish a little bit at Winding if we can get some better cafe orders. And I don't want to get too focused on the same thing, you know, episode after episode. So it's just hard not to recommend doing things like this or things like the rough white bream orders, bleak orders at Winding. I mean, there's just certain things at this level that's going to make your life so much easier in kind of quickly leveling, quickly getting silver. Again, don't worry about leveling. Your only focus in terms of progression is A, having fun, B, making some silver. And cafe orders are more times than not the thing to focus to help with that. Ah, we're getting such a nibble here. I want to wait and see what it is, but it's taking forever. There it goes. But you can see, like, time of day matters with crucian gibbles. We are in the suboptimal time. I don't know if it's quite been 24 hours. If it has been, we want to get some new worms, but if it hasn't, that is okay. Yay, new worms, new rough bait. I don't know if there were any cafe orders that were ending soon enough that we might be able to have a chance at a new order, but let's check. So obviously this crucian order, I mean, these 5 crucian would literally be worth like 0.06 silver or something like that. 0.06. Instead, we're getting 9.7. $58 silver. All right, so let's go from there to here. 49 silver in 20 minutes. But you can't, like, okay, you can't take that and say, well, you'd get that times 3. I don't know that that's the case. You're going through optimal and suboptimal times in that spot. But it is certainly, no matter what it is, it's good. So, personal record on biggest amount of silver. Trophy crucian carps. I wish I would have looked at that. I guess you can go back on the video and see it, but I think that's around 10 or 11 silver for a trophy crucian. And that was our first trophy. And we have 150 silver. Now, I have to tell you, it is very tempting just to walk over here and go to feeder rods and just click it. 149 silver. It's a good value for everything you get in here. All of a sudden we've got a lot more strength that we can use. But I think I'm going to stick with our plan. We want to get a shovel, a tea kettle, some tea, the ability to start a fire for cooking, and all that stuff we'll get into in the next episode, I think. Maybe while we're rough fishing or whatever. All right. Oh, we got our spark back. Yay! It's 100% mech. Am I losing my marbles a little bit here? What's the other store we definitely don't want the taxidermist office. It's the warehouse, right? Or the it must be over here. I'm about to go to Winding. I know exactly where everything is at Winding. New Mosquito still confuses me sometimes. Tackle store, hardware store. Goodness, it was right here. All right, 38 silver, and the tea kettle is 19. All right, let's stick to our plan, okay? 38, tea kettle, 19.9. We need to be able to start a fire, so we want 3 pieces of firewood and a pack of matches. And then we need some tea. Now, the only thing that's going to derail our plan is if tea is sold out everywhere. Is that a thing? Okay, it's not a thing. Okay. All right, on the next episode, we get into cooking and digging. I'm very excited. And we still have 77 silver. So we can still be saving pretty aggressively. Let's go ahead and get some more ground bait stuff. We'll need another stack of at least Crucian Gibble, maybe both. We'll just make it where we can kind of hit the ground running for the next episode. I'm going to do 2 of these and 1 of roach mix. We should have, I think we should have enough of both attractants. So we're still at 73.8 silver. And we are ready to dig, make tea, which allows us to dig even more. We also need to make more bread. Lots of bread. Probably more than that. Okay. Thanks for watching. We made it in just under an hour. We'll see you next time.